Now let's talk about the South China Sea. The region is becoming more tense. China is stirring up trouble and regional powers are taking a stand against it. Tonight we'll tell you about the Philippines. They've had a lot of trouble with China of late. In the last few weeks, we saw open confrontation. Beijing targeting ships from Manila, China blocking their movement, firing water cannons on them, even colliding with Filipino vessels. The provocations have been brazen and caught on camera. And China shows no signs of mending its ways, so how should Manila respond? Well, they have two options. Either use force, like a tit-for-tat response, or play a tactical game. Give China a taste of its own medicine. And the Philippines seems to have chosen option number 2. So here's what they're doing. Building assets in disputed waters, in this case, the South China Sea. Let me show you something. This is where Manila's project is taking shape. It's called the Second Thomas Shoal. And this is what it looks like, a submerged reef in the South China Sea located in the Spratly Islands. China claims this reef. They say it belongs to them. But for decades, it's been controlled by the Philippines. And now they're strengthening their hold. Manila is building a permanent structure here, a facility of sorts. What for? To serve as a shelter. That's what the Philippine military says, that this structure is meant for their fishermen, for them to take shelter. Last month, a budget was approved for this. Over $1 million has been set aside for this project. And why is this project getting attention? Because of a broken ship, the BRP Sierra Madre. The ship is marooned on the Second Thomas Shoal. It is a rusting piece of junk, but an important asset for the Philippines. This shipwreck is effectively a military base. It serves as a marker for Manila. Also an observation post for its Marines. The Philippines deploys a handful of soldiers here. They keep an eye on the Chinese and they assert Manila's control on the island. If these Marines withdraw, Manila could lose rights over the reef. So their presence is necessary. And a new structure will only help them to reinforce their territorial claims and to establish a more robust presence. Last month, Ferdinand Marcos took a vow. He's the president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos, and he said he won't give in to Chinese coercion.
We shall continue to assert our rights in accordance with the Philippine Constitution and international law. The recent incidents involving no less than our AFP Chief of Staff is worrisome. Yes, but it is a proud demonstration of Filipino courage against coercion and our firm resolve to protect, preserve, and uphold our territorial integrity.
China, of course, doesn't like that, so it's trying to create roadblocks. The Chinese Navy is blocking resupply missions. The Marines on the shipwreck need food, so Manila sends them special ships with food items and other supplies. They keep sending those. And China repeatedly blocks these deliveries. In the past, the Marines have run out of food. They've been forced to catch fish from the sea to survive. China has also stepped up its patrols. The Chinese Navy is more active in these waters. They've installed what they call a floating barrier just to stop the Philippine ships. And these actions come with a warning. Listen to this.
China is always committed to resolving differences through dialogue and consultation and making joint efforts to maintain maritime stability, but we will not turn a blind eye to the Philippines' repeated provocations and harassment.
So the tensions are clearly rising. A few months ago, the Philippine Coast Guard suspended a hotline with China. Despite Chinese threats, they continue to sail near the shoal.
The Philippine Coast Guard will not be deterred from implementing the President's explicit guidance for the Philippines to exercise our legal rights and over our maritime.
Filipino lawmakers want stronger action. They want more permanent structures and greater cooperation with the U.S. And it's all happening now. This week, the Philippine and U.S. militaries began a drill, their second one in less than 2 months. It's a 2-day exercise in the South China Sea. Both sides are also conducting joint patrols. 2 weeks ago, the Philippines held a drill with India as well, a maritime partnership exercise. An Indian warship sailed to the West Philippine Sea. Again, this is part of the South China Sea. And Beijing criticized this joint exercise between India and the Philippines. But Manila has disregarded these objections. It is mobilizing allies, asserting its claims, and confronting China head-on.